Lesson 1. Contour lines. Contour lines is an aspect of practical geography. Objectives of the lesson. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to 1. Identify contour lines. 2. Understand contour lines. And 3. Differentiate between contour lines representing highlands and valleys. Let us define contour lines. Contour lines are lines that are used to show places or lands of equal height above sea level. Reference is made to the level of the sea. The reason is that the level of the sea is the lowest part of the earth. So any other land is measured with reference to the level of the sea. So we can say that the level of the sea is 0 meters or 0 feet. Then as you move from the level of the sea, then you start climbing. So that is the reason why contour lines show places above sea level. Features of contour lines. This is very important because the features of contour lines are going to let you appreciate or understand what contour lines really means and what they are. So first, or 1, they show places of equal height above sea level. 2, they are calibrated, usually in meters or feet, on topographical maps. 3, they have irregular shapes. 4, they are usually shown in brown color. That is, on colored topographical sheets, contour lines are shown in brown colors. 5, the lines do not cross each other. So contour lines do not cross each other. Then 6, they are usually calibrated in meters or feet. Now, what figure is this? I know that those who have an idea of what contour line is may say or will say this is a contour line. But this figure is not a contour line. It is not a contour line because it has no calibration. So this figure over here is nothing. It is representing nothing because it has no calibration. Because it is the calibration that will let you understand or that will let you know that this contour line is representing a mountain or a valley. So because it has no calibration, it is representing nothing, and therefore it is not a contour line. Now, this is a contour line. Yes, it is a contour line because it is having calibration or it is numbered. So as you can see, this is the first contour. The first contour is what? 100 meters. Now the second contour is 150 meters. The third contour, although it is not having a number or a calibration, since the first one is 100 or 100 meters and the second one is 150 meters, definitely the third contour should be or will be 200 meters, then followed by 250 meters. The same way, the last contour is not having a calibration, but since this one is 250 meters, the last contour definitely is also going to have what? 300 meters. So the first contour is 100 meters and then the last contour is 300 meters. So this is a contour line because it is having calibration. I have categorized contour lines into two. They are hill contour lines or contour lines representing mountains and contour lines representing valleys or depression. So this is contour A and this is contour B. You can see that the calibration or the numbering of contour A is different from contour B. With contour A, the numbering or the calibration is starting from the lowest to the highest. And with contour B, the calibration is starting from the highest to the lowest. So contour A, you see 100, then 250, and then 300. So it is starting from where the lowest to the highest. And contour B is starting from the highest to the lowest. This is telling us that contour A is representing a mountain or a highland, because practically when we are climbing a mountain, you start from where? The lowest to the highest. Then contour B is representing a valley, because practically when we are descending a valley, you descend from where? The highest to the lowest. So this is very important for you to be able to understand or appreciate. Just at a glance of a contour line, you should be able to determine whether the contour line is representing a mountain or a valley. So as you can see, A is representing a mountain and B is representing a valley. Now, cross profile or cross section is a formula that is used to determine or that is used to explain whether a contour line is representing a mountain or a valley. So let's look at how the cross profile is done. You draw a horizontal line to cut through or to cut across all the contours. So as you can see, this horizontal line has cut across all the contours. Then you draw a vertical line from this side to this point at the left side, and then another vertical line at the right hand side. This is usually done using a graph book, but this lesson or this view is equally going to let us understand the principles first before we start using graph book for cross profile or cross section. Now after that, you calibrate them according to the contours. So 100, 150, 200, 250, and then 300. You do it at both the right hand side and then the left hand side. Then after that, you trace every contour to the calibration. I told you this numbering over here is usually done in an examination. You will use graph book, but this will let us to understand or to appreciate the concept of cross profile or cross section. Now the numbering is done according to the calibration of the contour. So after numbering, you trace all the contour lines to the calibrations at the left hand side and then the right hand side. So as you can see, this is contour 100. So you trace contour 100 to this point. This is contour 200, and then viewers should know where we are tracing the contour line. We are tracing them exactly from the horizontal line that has cut across all the contours. So this is contour 200. you trace it to 200. Then this is contour 250, you trace it to 250. Contour 300, you trace it to 300. This is also contour 300, you trace it to 300. And then this is contour 250, you trace it to 250. What contour is this? So you trace it to 200. Contour 150, you trace it to 150. And then contour 100, you trace it to 100. Very good. So at this point, you then trace a line to move along the ends of these lines that you have traced, and then it will tell you that this contour, or it will indicate that this contour is representing a mountain or a highland. Very good. So this is what we are talking about. You can see that the calibration is starting from the lowest to the highest, representing a mountain. So a cross profile has been used to determine or to show that this contour is representing a highland. Now, using cross profile or cross section to explain a valley or a depression contour lines. So the same way as you did with the first contour, you draw a horizontal line to cut across all the contours, and then you draw a vertical line from this point that is at the left side, and then you draw another vertical line at the right side, and then you calibrate them according to the contour over here, or according to the contour lines. So over here, the first contour is 300. The first contour is 300, and then the second contour is 250. So you trace all of them, to you trace all of them according to how you have calibrated them over here. So the same way you come to this place. So now you can notice over here that the pattern of this contour is different from what we did previously, because this is a contour whose calibration is from the highest to the lowest. So you trace all of them to meet their calibrations. Then after that, then you trace a curve, or you draw a curve at the edge of these lines, and definitely this is going to give you a value, because as I said, or in practical life, when we are descending a valley, you start from the highest to the lowest, the highest to the lowest. Thank you very much. Visit Educare and Kids on YouTube for more videos. Thank you.